All right. Welcome to our weekly New Gambia Media, New Global Media talk show. Today is January 14th, 2024. Today we're gonna be discussing about Gambian football and of course African Cup of Nations 2024. We are blessed to have our guest here, Habib Fall, who is into football. And then I have my co-host, Sam Ceesay from Indiana. Sam, welcome.
Thank
And
you.
Famara Drammeh, my other co-host here in Maryland. Famara, welcome.
Thank you, Sawaneh.
Yeah, and we will have Sainey join us, Sainey join us later. So welcome to the show, Habib. Habib, Gambian football.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here. Because for me, Gambia is a country that it's our country. But apart from being our country, it's a country that I'm obsessed with. So anything Gambian that I can partake or give my opinion or contribution, I will always find ways to come on board. Especially coming from a brother, farmer who has been also an example to many. He's a big advocate for anything good for Gambia at the environment, anything Gambian he is in. So the moment he sent me those on Facebook that they had a platform, I said, look, the moment you say it, I'm gonna come. There is no single doubt about that. So it's an honor to be here. Like I said, uh, football is something that I am very, 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 very passionate about. But besides football, there are other things I used to do, which are, in fact, for me, are way more important than even football because I have been into these charity stuffs. I run a charity also called Kids at the World in the Gambia for the past 13 years or more in the past decade. And apart from that, football is something that is deeply engraved in my system. So I'm always ready or I'm always prepared to talk about football, especially Gambian football, knowing what football can do and how football can change the status quo in our country. I think we need more people to speak out, especially holding our authorities accountable, putting pressure on them to do the right thing, because we all know what football can do. Just to give you an example, we saw only one Sadio Mane is transforming a whole village by himself.
Absolutely.
Thanks to football. He built them a hospital, a stadium, a school, and many other things that Sadio Mane is doing. And this is just one person. Even what the government cannot do, he's doing it. So we want to see our football in the right direction. And that is one of the reasons we always, like I said, I'm a big critic to the system. Not because I hate somebody, no. I want Gambia to emulate other countries like Senegal and our neighboring countries. Just let them do it good. So that was just a quick one about who is Mustafa and what I do. But today's topic is basically about football. So we're gonna speak about football today.
Thank you. And then thank you, Mustafa. And then of course, thank you, Sam, and then Famara and Madam Boj if she joins us. This is very passionate. It's a very passionate. I mean, most people I can say, on this platform are passionate about football, but
Yeah.
especially some of us are also like really into it because it is a point of discussion in my house every day. No. Football, we sit down. There's no way in a day we don't watch, and discuss football. So, and as a coach also, I think, this is also an area that I'm very passionate about. So we can see him being dressed in Gambian attires, a Gambian football attires, of course. He's a big fan as well, and Sam also. So this topic is gonna be very interesting. Now you mentioned Sadio Mane. Um, Sadio Mane is an example that anybody can believe in his or her own self if they put the work and then they have the passionate and the drive. But one thing we have seen different between Senegal and Gambia, and we have to talk about that today. Senegalese have gone so far in in a professional football. We have seen their team that went to the World Cup, Alhaji Diouf and them. and Fadiga and them, what they did. And how is it that Senegalese people are always in these big teams? They get into Premier League, they get into all these big teams. What is the model that they have that our country doesn't have? We have to look into that. And we also have to look at, the Gambian are very skillful nowadays in football. We've seen that people are playing everywhere, in the parks, in the dirts, and all that. Because I hosted a Gambian boy here who is in the football, and I went to see his game before he went to Europe. So it is like it is becoming big in the Gambia. But why is it that we don't have a pathway to success? We have to look at that. What is lacking? Is it the families? Is it the government? Is it the management? Is it so? Let's look at everything in this discussion because Senegal is our neighbor and they are making headway. You have another academy in Senegal and they have a link to Europe as well. We have seen what Alhaji Diouf now is doing to the Senegalese players. An ex-player who is paving way. So I don't know what is our problem that we are failing. The only person who we had far was Jato Ceesay and few other people. Star Jane came here. Star Jane from Gunju failed. We have Stanjai. I mean, we play with him with our GRO team in Maryland. Famara can attest to that. Stanjai so Star Sanyang, he played. I mean, you can see the skills. They didn't go anywhere. Yeah, we had AJ. AJ came here. He played for GYO team. We went to Maryland and we won a trophy there. Professional player, I mean, who is a midfield machine. Went to Seattle, failed. Nobody is going anywhere. I mean, I can name you 10 players that I know who could have made a headway. They could play in English Premier League. They could have played in Barcelona, all these teams. But nobody's going far. Is it that, they're more each other? Or what is involved? Let's talk about everything. Let's put everything down so that our viewers can really, because a lot of people are going to watch this show and they can benefit from this. And then it's good that we...
It's Gambian football when it comes to is this is a topic, a very important topic, but it's something that you cannot just point out one thing and say it's the root of the problem. No, collectively, there are a lot of things to look into. When it comes to Senegal and Gambia, for example, we are not on the same level when it comes to politics. When you start from CAF, Senegal, for the past 20 or 30 years, they've been having people working in the system. I mean, CAF. And CAF is a political institution, despite the fact that they run football. Senegal has this superiority when it comes to football politics. That's one aspect. The second aspect is the infrastructure. In our country, we are zero when it comes to infrastructure. In the Gambia, we were ahead of Senegal in youth football, the Catch Them Young initiative. This was the time when Gambia was having the under-17s, and we won the under-17s in 2005 and in 2009. During that time, Senegalese football was on a downhill, and they were not even having youth setup. They learned that from us. How? When we played them in 2008 in Dakar, they were having a bunch of professionals. We have few professionals and some young players who were in the under-17 and moved to the under-20. The Sohnas and the Momodou Giants and this boy, Tian Jetes. We played Senegal, double header. They couldn't beat us. In fact, the last match was in Dakar in 2008. We went to Dakar. We played a fantastic game against Senegal, and it was a 1-1 draw. Senegalese people couldn't believe it, that a young team from Gambia can come to Dakar, outplay us, and get a draw. There was a massive demonstration in Senegal. They burned the football house. And from that end, since then, 2008, they have transformed their football for good. Like I said, they were never involved much in under-17 and under-20s. But that draw from Gambia, Senegal couldn't qualify, and it was a disaster. It was a disaster. So the system of football has been transformed since then. What they did, they have these very good academies from the start. Senegal have one of the best around called Generals of Foot, and they have a link with Metz. Metz is a first division team in France. They have Jambar. They have all these teams, but the advantage they have over Gambia is their academies have direct links with teams in France. So meaning every year, the best 2 or 3 players are going straight to France. Mm-hmm. And this number keep piling up. And Senegal have moved to a level whereby nobody is going to France for trials. No, they are going straight from Dakar to a team in France. So that's also another advantage. But in Gambia, our authorities are not transparent when it comes to football. You cannot develop football without football infrastructure. You have to catch them young, and catch them young start from school football. You have to develop school football. I'm young, but they will tell you there was a time there are people playing in high school and they play for national team. Then they call them Sehendul Schoolboy International because they said school football was very competitive. But now in our country, school football is not as it used to be. So we have to start it from scratch to get to the top. And one of the main problem is nobody is giving importance of catching these kids young from a tender age. You compare us with Senegal, those are some of the things that I could tell you for now. That's the difference. Any Gambian player can go to the Senegalese league and become the best player. Easy. We have so many Gambian players who left our league to Senegal and become the MVP of the league, the entire league, the MVP. Not long ago, just 2 years ago, Lamin Jaji was the best player in the Senegalese league. He was playing for Casa Sport. He's a Gambian, born and raised. Before that, Abdoulaye Diallo was an MVP. Yankuba. Many Gambian players went to Senegal and excelled. Talent-wise, we can match anybody. But there's no blueprint in our football. There's no plan. And in football, you must have a plan. 5-year plan, 5 year. You must have a plan. And you have to execute your plan. Mauritania did that. These Mauritania, they were miles behind Gambia when it comes to football. But as we speak, they are miles ahead of Gambia because they qualified to the AFCON well before us. They qualified 2 times to AFCON before Gambia. And these are teams we used to beat for fun. But they were not good at football, so they sit down and have a plan. And the plan was executed, and now Mauritania is qualifying to the AFCON on a regular basis. Bissau is also qualifying on a regular basis. And both Bissau and Mauritania were behind Gambia. What have they done right to make it happen? This is things that our football authorities should come together, sit down, and make a proper plan of grassroots football. If we do that, it's doable because we have people with expertise. We have Gambian ex-players all over the world with UEFA B license or even UEFA A license. For us, we need to have a program. If we have the program through the JFF, and the government also have to play their part, and we have a roadmap, I think we can achieve great things in football because Gambia is blessed with talents. We are blessed with talent. For me, I'm not scared of any country when it comes to talent, but we are not nurturing them the right way. And the reason why I always emphasize about this catch them young in school is it will minimize people from doing age cheating. This age cheating is a problem. But if you catch them young in school football, you are, because normally in Gambia, kids are going to primary one at 7 or 8 years. That's the normal age. So if kids are registered, you know that Famara is 7 years and 8 years. Even if Famara has to leave the school and go and join an academy, you still have his real age with you. So we have to spend so much time in school football because the academies are owned by individuals, but the schools are owned by government, and government is the bigger boss. You have to put the rules across. So I always tell to people, different platforms, we have to give so much time to school football. That's the first step where kids will develop. All the kids in these academies are also in school. But the Gambia, we are not doing that. We are only concentrating on senior football. Senior football is okay. Going to AFCON is okay. But the foundation of any successful country when it comes to football is the grassroots. And that is one of the reasons North Africa is miles ahead of everyone and South Africa. Because in North Africa, Egypt can go to an AFCON with 95% of their players playing in the Egyptian league, homegrown. They only need to have 4 or 5 players playing outside, and they could still win the trophy. Because they have this Catch Them Young initiative. Kids will start to play football at 5, 6 years old. They have the infrastructure. But in our country, the Gambia, it's the opposite. The infrastructure is not there. There are some good Gambians right now who are also doing a good job on a personal level, like they own academies by themselves. But I have to put government and GFF first, because whenever I talk about Gambia, I talk about taxpayers' money, and taxpayers' money is from government, and GFF is also like I said, on the Gambia, because the GFF are receiving monies from FIFA in the name of the Gambia. So I'm always holding accountable government and GFF and the Ministry of Sport. These are the people who should lay the foundation for our kids to play football the right way. I can continue, but I will let others also to come to chip in, and then we continue from there.
Thank you so much, Habib. You have broken it down. And I think, Famara and Sam can come in, because there's a lot to discuss on football. Catch Them Young is a good initiative. Gambia has headed that, and then people are taking examples of that. And then also the academy situation connecting directly to France. That is another thing in place that Senegal has over Gambia. Gambians are talented, of course. That one is also noticed, because wherever a players goes to another team, they win. They get the MVPs. So all these things are takeaways. But I will allow Famara and then Sam to come in, and we can look at
Just
why we don't have the
before I
infrastructure.
forget this. Before I forget this, the moment Senegal started to have teams in the youth setup, 17 and 20, they have been winning every trophy available. Every youth tournament, Senegal is winning everything on the 17, on the 20, on the 23. Even the CHAN team. CHAN means players playing in Senegal. CHAN is a tournament that is also played in Africa. You are not allowed to bring other players who are playing professional level, but players playing in your are allowed to play. Senegal is winning all the tournaments in Africa in youth setup. And Gambia was miles ahead of Senegal when it comes to youth football. Like I said, we won 2 trophies before them. We won 2005 and 2009. But since Senegal started to come into this youth setup, they are winning. Sometimes they will win four tournaments in a year. On the 17, on the 20, the CHAN. Because they are doing the right thing, and they have academies whereby kids will be lodged in those academies, and they go to school as well. So all what you need to do is to go to school, come home, eat, train, sleep. So you can control their fitness level, their mindset, and everything. So if you have that grassroots thing written, it means for the next 10 years, Senegal will always be in the top of Africa, because they are producing a bunch of players on a regular basis. So Aliou Ceesay or whosoever their coach might be will always have a problem of picking a team, because you have an array of stars globally. And for Gambia to be in that category, we have to do something similar back home.
Now, yeah. But none of this thing could take place without funding. So I think that is where the area that and infrastructure, the area that we have to look at. So Famara can comment and then Sam.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Sawaneh, Sam, and then Habib, our guest. Habib, thank you so much. You made a very important point here about planning, having a strategic action plan. Before I start that, I want to thank you so much for what you are doing in my community. You know, I come from Brufut, and then the nursing school operating there. Obviously, it's a big plus for the community. And then given our generation, free education is something very, very important. We appreciate that. And also, me and Habib come from the same Kanyi in Latrikunda, German, because that's where I was when I was at high school. Stayed in Latrikunda. So we actually grew up together.
Fatikuda.
Yeah, Fatikuna, exactly. So we grew up together. So thank you so much, Habib, for coming. Like you said, we all know you are very, very involved in Gambian issue, and you're also involved in football, and also the good charity work you are doing in our country with your wife. So we want to thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Thank you.
So when it comes to football, like you rightly said, it is important to be transparent when it comes to administration of football. And then having a strategic action plan, how football should be handled in our country is very, very important, because that will help both the GFF, the government, because Gambia is a nation where we all like football. You never know when there is this European Cup going on. You see how our video clubs and people's houses are full of watching football.
Yeah.
And then people can tell you, very good information about football on how, especially the coaching skills and all those things. So I think we need to have this national dialogue where GFF, maybe from one time or once a year or quarterly, need to go and sit on the national platforms, talk to people. Whether at the regional base, you can have it in Banjul, you come to KM, you go to West Coast region, all the regions. And we have very good sport journalists also in the Gambia. So once we are open to each other, and then we come up with a very good strategic action plan, this is what we want to see Gambian football in the next 10 years, 15 years. And then look at how we can mobilize funding. We don't just have to wait until when we see ourselves in tournaments is when we start preparing. But once you have a strategic action plan, those goes with funding opportunities as well. And that's why Senegal is doing well, like you say, Happy been saying it. Because CAF, Senegalese have actually, infiltrated in CAF now. And now we have also seen in FIFA. So once they have their people in FIFA and they have their people in CAF, and you have good academies operating in Senegal, it is very easy to lobby funding, because those people are actually even guiding them how they can tap funding from CAF and how they can tap funding from FIFA. So they give them, they involve them in their strategic, preparations. So this is why they are doing very well. And like some of the, Habib saying, some of the academies are actually having direct connection to France. So these are some of the advantage that our neighbors have over us. We have to be open. You cannot run an institution without, sharing your thoughts and ideas and your plan with the people that you are serving. I think that's key important thing that we need to do. Once we do that, we are open, because we are a small nation. With the funding that we are receiving from FIFA, if we manage it properly, we could have built a lot of infrastructure. Senegal, I know in the next few years, they will be bidding to host AFCON very soon. Because we have the last couple of years, they have put up new stadiums, So with that, they're preparing themselves. So, and when that happens, and I mean, that's good for the economy and it's good for the country. And they have been doing well with the international footballers now. Their players are doing well at the international level now. So with all that, it's putting the country in the right footing. It's not too late, but we have to put our house in order and make sure we talk to each other, we communicate, we share plans, engage each other. Once we do that, I'm sure we can do well. And then we all had an example for Sadio Mane. And I'm sure our players too can do something, but we need to have a better infrastructure. If we are struggling to even maintain our one national stadium, we are struggling, to put it toward the international standard. Then obviously that shows that we need to do a lot of work to do. And we have a lot of places where a stadium can be built. You come to Brufut, we have a very big space there. That space is enough to, to build a second national stadium over there. You go to other places, Gunjur, GFF have already started doing something there and they never complete. You go to other areas. And we have seen recently on the internet, they're saying they have innovated 14 pitches. I don't know where those 14 pitches are, but I think we need to open to each other to help Gambian football to go. And then I think that's what I want to contribute before we go into the AFCON preparation.
Before Sawaneh came, just to tell you how important it is to have partners in. Senegal have the FIFA Secretary General is Senegalese, Samura. That's one. The CAF Vice President is Senegalese, Augustin Senghor. You remember when Senegal played against South Africa and the referee intentionally spoiled the game and gave South Africa the win. It was bad officiating and Senegal lose the match. But guess what? Because they have people in power, they ordered that match to be replayed. I've never seen that on earth. A match that is already finished, you lose, even though the referee destroyed the match, just ban the referee, but they asked the match to be repeated. And Senegal can only enjoy that because they have powerful people in the system. And that match was repeated. Senegal won the match and qualified to the World Cup. If Gambia was in that position, that match will never be repeated. They will only ban the Ghanaian referee, and then that's it. So politically, they are superior. Since 30 years ago, they used to have this Mawada Wada and others in CAF. They've been having people in CAF for the longest time. So that's also advantage. This Augustin Senghor wanted to stand for the presidency, but he was against a billionaire from South Africa. I understand they just put him in the corner and say, look, just allow this guy to sit down. This guy is a billionaire, but and he backed down, and now he's number 2. So what? Guess what? Mm-hmm. His next target will be, if this guy is out, I'm coming. So they have people in FIFA and in CAF. Imagine a 90-minute game already finished. They said the match should be repeated. And they won that match, and they're in the World Cup, just to show you how powerful they are. And guess what? Currently, they are refurbishing 3 stadiums in Senegal. And part of the money, half is coming from the government, and the other part is coming from the FIFA for money. FIFA is paying a lot of millions for Senegal to refurbish or rehabilitate their biggest stadium, Leopold Sédar Senghor and Stade Demba Diop. It's currently work in progress.
Wow.
Now you ask why the Gambia government, why GFF couldn't tap the same kind of funds to help government to refurbish our stadium. And there are funds available, not only for Senegal. The funds are there to be tapped. But if you tap the funds and you misuse them, it's difficult for you to get more money going forward. Yeah. So I just want to tell you how it is to have personnel in FIFA or CAF. It's an added advantage. The moment Guinea-Bissau had one, they are football change. It's politics everywhere. It's part of it. It's part of it because when it's time for election, CAF they have their own crew that normally vote for them. So it's politics, and Senegal has been enjoying this for the longest time, and there are facts to back it up.
Thank you, Habib. Oh my goodness. So that's another area. You have your people in power. You know, they can manipulate the system. They can make cases. I mean, it's politics. The world operates like that. So Senegal is getting the advantage. Yeah. Okay. So let's hear from Sam. Then after, I think we can go deeper on this World Cup coming up. I mean, this African Cup of Nations coming up. Sam, your contribution.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Sawaneh. Thank you, Habib. Thank you, Famara. Famara, thank you so much for bringing that up too as well. I think Habib had mentioned a lot of interesting things that I did not know actually. But all of this I can say that is one common term that I always use, and that is if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Gambia failed to plan for our future. That's why we're failing, and that's why Senegal is ahead of us. And Senegal having representatives in CAF and also in FIFA gave them the voice, and Gambia does not have a voice. See, this is our problem. This is why we are behind them. And Gambia, part of the reason why we don't have the voice there is, Gambians, instead of supporting each other and supporting to fight for one person to get there, they will be fighting each other. That's one of our problems. But our biggest problem is corruption. Corruption is also preventing us from utilizing the funds that are allocated to us into the future of our Gambia football. Instead, the funds are going into individual pockets. Look at that, just the simple stadium that's been there forever that we had, just to even renovate that stadium. I mean, look at that. It's not like building a new stadium. Renovate the stadium, meet the standards, and they could not do that. Just that simple, because funds are not being utilized accurately. They are not being utilized the way they're supposed to be. The Gambians want, when they see millions, they want to have a share in those millions, knowing that there's not even a single budget allocated for them individually. It's for a project, but individuals would like to get money out of that and make themselves better instead of working to develop our country, develop football in our country, and support our youth. So corruption is our biggest thing there. And of course, there's politics in everything, even in our houses. There's politics everywhere, and the politics play a big role in all of this. But our biggest problem is corruption, the lack of planning. So going into with that said, I want to talk about what Habib mentioned about the foundation, about catch them young. I think that's very, very, very important. Catching them young while they're young is very important, because this is how you can recruit. This is how, and all of this needs to start with, between the Gambia's Ministry of Youth and Sports and also Ministry of Education, by going to the schools to make sure that schools are encouraged, give them the encouragement, give them the tools that they need, give them the support that they need to encourage young kids to play football. Let them play football and be genuine about it. Make sure you encourage, there are players out there, very good young kids out there that are playing, that have the potentials to be in World Cup, but we're not supporting them to get there. So it's the responsibility of our Minister of Sports and the Minister of Education to work together, collaborate to make sure that this happens, and to really the solution for that age cheating about age and all that stuff really is easy to fix. It's easy to fix. If they go into, I've always recommended this before, if they go into electronic system where everything is computerized, from the day that a child gets to school, their name is in the system, their date of birth, the parents' name, and everything is in the system. That cannot change. That will stay with them until they die. That is their age. That will be their age everywhere, from all the way to stepping away. So, but putting things on pen and paper is easy for people to manipulate. I mean, if you were born on, 19, let's say 81, somebody can change that one and make it a 9 in 1989, and here you come, you qualify for something. All of these things are really bad for society. We need to be truthful. We need to be honest to ourselves. We need to do the right thing for our people. Gambians need to do the right thing. Our government, I'm talking, the government need to really take part in this and look at our neighboring countries. Look at what Senegal is doing. Look at what is Mauritania doing. Look at what other countries are doing, and try to not to be in the backbone of that. Be in the front. Be in the forefront. Try to be a step ahead of them. Level, they go straight to France. They go straight to France, and they go play into teams, not even trial based. All that is because they have the foundation. All of it is because they have the right infrastructure and the right setup for it. Gambia need to get along that line. We need to get into that by having our good infrastructure, have connections with European teams, especially English-speaking countries, to make sure that when Gambian footballers get to that level. We support them and support them and support them until they get to that level, so they can have that same opportunity to go play in Europe, in European countries. So I think the foundation is part of our problem. Our infrastructure is a problem. Planning is a problem. Corruption is a killer for all of our funds. So
Yep.
I'm going to stop here for a minute and allow you to come back in.
Yeah.
But I think that's our problem.
You just nailed it. I just want to give one example of a player. The last under 20 tournament, there was a boy called Lamin Kamara. Like this Lamin Kamara is from Jululu. That's almost Gambia, right? He plays for the Senegalese under 20. He's played for Gerrans of Foot. They have a link with Mets. This boy played for the under 20. They were champions. He played for the Chan team. Chan team means every country in Africa goes into a qualifying round, and then there is a tournament. It's like the Chan team is like the AFCON. It's similar, but only homegrown players are playing this competition. This Lamin Kamara played for the Chan team. They were champions. They moved him to the under 20. They went to the final against us. We lost. The best player in the Chan, he was the best player in the under 20 as well. Straight from there to Paris. I'm telling you, in a month or so, he has all these accolades, flew to Paris, and start playing in the first team right away. And guess what? Lamin Kamara is with the Senegalese national team in AFCON in less than a year. In 1 year, he moved from playing in the Senegalese league, play in the Chan competition. They are the champions. He moved to the under 20. They are the champions. He moved to France, to Metz, where we have our Gambian superstar, Abdoulaye Jamano. He is playing regularly in the team. And now he is in the Senegalese team. And if you look at the pecking orders, he might be even on top of Ghana Gay as of now. You can only get this if you have the right structures in place. Unfortunately, we don't have. The only good thing lately, we see a Gambian brother called Kerno Samba. He's a Gambian who raised in UK. He plays for all the youth set up in UK. He's now a football agent. And he already started to have some scouting missions in the Gambia. He's bringing the English teams to Gambia to scout players. He already had one, which I think it was last month, and he's also planning another one in February. Maybe with him, we might have a chance to have more Gambian players going into the Premiership, because there was a rule in England that if your country is not in the top 75 FIFA ranking, you don't have a chance to play in the Premiership. But now things have changed. That law is no longer existing. What Cherno said, you just have to be better and better and better, and then now you can come from the Gambia and you can play directly in the Premiership. So maybe with him, we will have more players going into the Premiership. And then we also have Sadio Camoso, also is working with some agents from Italy and Turkey. He's also taking players out from the Gambia, Kaj Demion. Even recently, 2 of his players are supposed to go in Italy. They'll be going to school while playing football. So the good thing is we have individuals. And again, these are individuals. These are people who are not working in the system. This is by themselves. Like you go to Gambia, you see a Gambian build a mansion. That's personal. So we want to see the authorities to lay this to make it happen. But the good thing is we have Gambian football agents tapping raw talent from Gambia and taking them to the outside world. We also have a Gambian brother. He's living with you guys there in America. His name is Srifo Jajo. I don't know if you remember, there was a Gambian who went on holidays and he lost almost $15,000 and stuff. It was all over the news. He's a certified FIFA agent. He lives in America, so he's also a FIFA agent. So we have few of them BI also, and one guy, Ceesay in Belgium. We have Gambians do it, but the system in this, the fact that Lamin Camara was able to enjoy that is thanks to a good setup. So we want to see more of this. And the main thing that Mr. Sawaneh, Ceesay X, he said it, corruption is deeply rooted in our country. It's so bad that it is accepted now. You can be a thief and people glorify you. And you catch one boy in the market who is hungry, maybe he steal one chalo, and they will kill you for stealing one chalo. But they will allow Mr. Fall to steal millions of taxpayers' money, and they will still say, no, Wotsagamla, Yam, Wotsagam, oh, they will say, Harbi Finkotake Fufala Moleke, those BS words. They allow people to tap our funds, drive cars, expensive cars, build mansion, and scared about stealing because nobody will shame you for taking taxpayers' money. And that's the norm in the country. And hence that attitude is still in our country. For the next 20 years, it will be the same. Yeah. We will only dream about success, but we will not be there. And this has nothing to do with football. It's in all the sectors in the country.
Right. Yeah, until we change.
For the sports side, it's the worst, because for the sports side, they felt that this money is coming from FIFA. So if they can manipulate their audit with FIFA, they're good. That's why you could see a guy, he was nobody a couple of years ago, and now he or she is in the system. He will drive a 200,000 euro car. He will build a house. He will move from his or her kids from public school to most expensive school in the Gambia, and life will be good. But for me, if I look at those people, I feel sorry.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for you, because the fact that this life is not eternal, that's why I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
For people who think that, you are jealous. No, nobody can steal public funds. And I feel sorry for you. Because I know you are dying soon.
He will catch up to you. He will catch up to you.
No, you are dying soon. So why do you have to do that? So the corruption in the system is deeply rooted. That's why when Famara is talking about those 14 pitches and 14 interventions, it's laughable. The moment they said 14 pitches in the FIFA website, they came and made a bogus press conference and said FIFA intervened. Look at the term they're trying to use. And me as a Gambian, I went around the country. I went to see all the projects by myself firsthand. I took photos. We interviewed every single stakeholders from these projects, from Gunjur. I went with Vicente. You all know Vicente.
Right.
I went with Vicente and two other journalists, Baukar Nanisi and Lamin Delfeder, just to ask them first-hand information about this project, what's happening. And guess what? There is no project in the country that the community can tell you the amount of money involved and how. People are clueless about the project. They cannot tell you. We went to Bekama, the same thing. We went to Busumbala, the same thing. That one, there is even nothing. Just an empty land out there. So what Mr. Ceesay is saying is the fact.
Corruption.
You can go around. Yeah.
Yeah. Corruption.
You can have PhD. Because in our country, we have experts. Most Gambian studies in this across the world, Australia, America, England, they have very good degrees, PhDs, masters, you call them.
That has nothing to do with.
If you lack honesty, take it to the trash bin. It's not helping you. It's everywhere. You go to agriculture, is there. You go to NAVEC, is there. Yeah. So this is a problem. Yeah. The reason why our football is behind, and Mauritania, Cape Verde are all moving. Look, the FIFA guy went to Mauritania to unveil their new stadium, and it was built through the FIFA Ford funds. They went to Cape Verde, the same thing. When was the last time Gambia hosted a tournament? 2005. All these countries around us now are hosting some mini tournaments. We can't, because the
Yeah, because
infrastructure in
we
our
don't have,
country
yeah, we don't have the
is big.
facilities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to FIFA in 2008, sorry, in 2014 in the World Cup. I remember there was an article, they gave them $1.6 million then. They were supposed to rehabilitate some of these Selecunda East, West, Brikama, Banjul, and Gunyut to have been a new one, and Butumbala. No, you go there, it's still the same. And nobody is holding anybody accountable. So
That's the failure.
corruption is the main problem.
Yeah.
Is the main problem.
This is the failure of our system, failure of the people that we put in power, the people who we give responsibility to, we trust them. And of course, entirely, if you look at it, the government, you cannot take the government out of it. So corruption being the top issue here, and then definitely the infrastructure, definitely the opportunities and the talents is there. So I think we really could do better. Now talking about let's switch the gear a little bit to this plane issue that had no air conditioning and they had to fly and then came down. The organization of this tournament coming. Don't you guys think that could have a psychological effect on going to this tournament? Our players, they flew. They said they played some air conditioning problem and all of those things, and then they had to come. They have to come down and all of that. So you are preparing for a great tournament, especially meeting with Senegal, and that's another thing that we can look at. Senegal, whenever we meet with them, I don't know for some whatever weird reason, they mostly beat us. Is it that they have a better team? Is it that they have this tenacity to say we don't allow Gambia to beat us regardless. We rather die than for this to beat us. I know one time in our GYO team, we had an African tournament here. We happened to beat Senegalese team in New York here, 2005. It's like that was like there's it looks like there's something big that had happened in the Senegalese people's life. Gambi, huh? Gambi, then you do Gambi. All of Harlem, it become a big deal. So it looks like they have this wall against us. No matter what, we cannot defeat them. Now that we're gonna be facing them, what do you think? What do you guys think? Is it gonna be? Is it gonna be the same repeat situation, or there's a chance that we could excel? And also, what would be your thought, for us to get a victory? But first, let's discuss about this playing issue of the preparation and how everything, looked bad, on the players, and then of course those organizers. Then we can go into the tournament that is ahead on Monday.
Yeah, it looks like.
I think we.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
no, go ahead.
I know the boys are getting prepared for tomorrow's game. After all what has happened, their long flight from Saudi Arabia and then coming the next day, going to State House and they're expecting their bonus, and then those, back and forth, and then they have to boycott the test match at the stadium. And of course, this flight issue as well. But I remember the moment they arrived at Yamoussoukro, it looks like the spirit is high. The boys are getting ready for tomorrow's game. So hopefully, we will actually show Senegal that, Gambia team is a different, altogether. We have very good players. And I think Tom, the coach, will actually, employ some tactical, instead of the previous defending and all whatever, and have a good plan in place so that we can win our game tomorrow. But so far, so good. Despite all the challenges they had in the beginning from coming from Saudi Arabia, so I think that the spirit is high. And we have seen a good number, about 50 people or so, that went with the team for the fans club, so the spirit is high. So we look forward to the game. And then, hopefully we'll win Senegal tomorrow. And we are confident that we'll win Senegal tomorrow. So far, so good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think one of the problem in football, there are details, and if you are You don't have to joke with small details, especially when it comes to professional football. Our authorities, the NCC, they got the plan. They got their plans wrong from the word go. Going to Saudi Arabia wasn't not a bad idea, but I think they could have done what other people like Senegal did, because Senegal they come in Dakar. They didn't go anywhere. They come in Dakar, they train, they prepare well, and they invited one mediocre team, Niger, just to have a warm-up with them, and they left. We traveled to Saudi Arabia, knowing that we don't have chartered flight. If you have to go to Saudi, you have to make sure you have a chartered flight. You flew from Banjul to Saudi, Saudi to Banjul. Make it easy. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. They need 24 hours to travel from Saudi back to Gambia, which was tiring. And they don't want to say it because they don't put the itinerary out there. But one of the players who was born in Europe, Seydou Nyanko, he said it. He said, "Look, we are tired. We want to sleep. We traveled for 24 hours. In fact, he said 32 hours, according to Seydou Nyanko. He said this. And he said, we are being at Istanbul 5-6 hours, at Casablanca 7 hours. This is exhausting."
Of course.
That same team arrived in the Gambia around 2 a.m. in the morning. Before they leave the airport, go home, take shower, and it's 4-5 a.m. in the morning. And you expect that same team to wake up in the morning and go to State House. For what reason? For what was the point? And this is a team group in the group of death, and we are the underdogs in the group. Meaning we should be doing way better in terms of preparation, because we are going to meet Cameroon, Senegal, and Guinea. So we have 2 derbies.
Yes.
So instead of them preparing the team to the best of conditions, they failed the team from the word go. Because football players in Europe, they travel in a different flight that you have leg rooms. You can stretch yourself easy. What we are flying, we are flying with commercial flights, and they are tight. And not only they are tight, we have 2 transits from Saudi Arabia. So it's definitely not the best of preparation. And then we are supposed to go.
But why do they have to go all the way to Saudi Arabia? Is there something significant about that?
Yeah, it's interesting. Whatever you see our people are doing, money is involved. I can tell that. Saudi Arabia are now into football. Saudi want to host the World Cup. I think they host the World Cup in 2030. But Saudi are now investing in football. They want to be seen. They want to be they're not African people. During that campaign, even Zambia were there in Saudi. They will look at poor countries and give them chicken change. It's as simple as that. They can never get Senegal to Saudi. Hell no. No way. They have all what they need in Senegal. They stayed in Senegal. They have the infrastructure. They have the finance. They have the motive. They have everything. We went to Saudi, but they should have gave us a chartered flight from Banjul to Saudi and Saudi to Banjul. Okay. For that one, you can complete. But it was the opposite. So the players are fatigued. They are fatigued, and then they arrive in Banjul. They want them to go to a ceremony at the State House. The fact that the Barrow was not in the country, they could have changed the schedule. Everything could have been done at the stadium and give them a very befitting send-off. But they didn't do that. So the boys were fatigued, and then comes to play these bonuses. We put ourselves in the news for the wrong reasons. It could have been avoided because they are owing the boys and they knew it. So pay them. Why do you have to allow them to boycott before you act? It was unnecessary. And look, listen, we don't have the best of preparation. But I think the players knew the stakes are high. It's Senegal. They want to do it for Gambia. They want to make history. It's a country that we always lose to when it comes to senior level. Yes, we do beat them on junior level, but when it matters the most, we almost find it hard to beat them. Even though our last meetings was a draw. They came to Gambia in 2008. It was a 0-0 draw. We went to Senegal. We outplayed them. It was a 1-1 draw. So last time we played Senegal on a senior category, it was all draw home and away. So if we can build up from there, I think we have a chance. Even though on paper, Senegal should be beating us on paper, but football is not played on paper. And I have this bunch of Gambian players. I think mentally they are okay. Uh, we are expecting a good fight tomorrow. To be honest, we have very good players in the team who can put anybody. So now it's about it will go down to tactics and the approach. We've seen today, for example, uh, if you ask anybody, oh, it's Nigeria versus Guinea Equatorial, you say, that's that's a wrap for Nigeria. But no, they came, they competed against Nigeria with all their top players around the world. It was a 1-1 draw. So football is not played on paper. On paper, Gambia should take last in the group on paper because we are the lowest ranked team in the group. But that's not how football goes. So we have the potential to upset Senegal. I have this belief. If Tom can just make some little adjustment and pick the players based on merits, I think we have a chance against Senegal because last AFCON, we played against Guinea. They are ahead of us. We beat them. We played against Mali. It was draw. Tunisia are way ahead of us. We beat them. So it's not about who has the most players played in Europe. It's just you need to get a balanced team and you can compete. And Senegal is about bragging rights, and I expect our players to give their best.
Now, yeah.
Because
One
like
more
I say,
thing. One more thing that I
Senegal,
wanna. One more thing that I wanna interject before any I allow Sam and Famara to come in is that you said the play is based on tic tacs and then also strategies and also on the way they were played, not how many players are playing in Europe. This team, is there any chemistry? I mean, because chemistry also is very important. And then have they been played together? Because that could also be, an addition. We have seen Senegalese teams really have really, improved on that. And then that make it easier when you go to tournaments, to tweak things around. When one thing don't work, the coach can be able to, if the players are definitely has the chemistry and they're playing together for long. So I don't know if that is an advantage to Gambia. And also like you were saying, there are individual players, like Yankuba Minty and other, very dangerous players in the Gambian team. Now, what is it that the Gambian players, what is your word for them in order to pull this off? What because the coaching tactics are there, and then the players also have their dues to do within the perimeter. So it goes both ways. So what would be your word for
I
them?
think as a Gambian, you don't need as a Gambian born and raised, you don't need any motivation to play against Senegal. You don't need motivation to play against Senegal. It's already there. It's already there. It's Senegal. You knew it. It's Senegal. Beating Senegal means a lot to every single Gambian. So it's self-motivation, number one. It's already there because most of these players, when Gambia played Senegal in 2002, sorry, 2003, they were going to school. They were out in this village. When we played them against 2008, the same thing, some of these boys were not even played in the league. And they were out making noise. When Gambia qualified to the AFCON 2 years ago, Yankuba Minte was among the fans running after the bus, climbing in the window, screaming. This is just 2 years ago. So these boys are really motivated when it comes to facing Senegal. It's about the mindset, like no complex. In Senegal, it's like any other team. And we have seen it. We have seen teams play against the top teams in Africa and they pull it up. Nigeria lose to Guinea-Bissau in Abuja last year. Think about that. In Abuja. Lesotho, a team that Gambia beat 6-0, went to Nigeria a couple of months ago inside Abuja and draw 1-1. Nigeria went to Zimbabwe, low Zimbabwe, they couldn't win. Ghana went to Comoros, they lose. Mental game. If our players are mentally ready, the potential is there. We have a team, and this team, 98% of the players are together for the past for the past years. Because Tom is not a guy who is changing his team. No. If he trusts you, even if you are not playing better in your club, he will still pick you. So the chemistry is there.
Okay.
If you look at the back four, they are there. Tom is very predictable when he's calling his team. 98% will be there. Only few, like you said, yeah, okay, Yankuba Minte has been in the team not long ago. Maybe you can say Ali Sow. But the rest of the players have been there since. So the chemistry is there. Now it's about
delivery,
making the right tactics, because every game has an approach. If you approach the game the right way and the players are willing to put their life on the line, you can do it. Like I said, most people will say Nigeria will outscore Guinea Equatorial easy. But they have the best striker almost in Europe, Osimhen. They have players in AC Milan, all that. No. All you need to have is players competing. If your players are competing and they are fit, it doesn't matter if they are playing with teams with players playing in a bigger league. No. And it has been manifested in Africa. All you need to do is pick the players who are physically ready and mentally ready. If you can do that with tactics. Gambia lose to Burundi because of why? Tactics. Their coach outcoach our coach and we lose. Burundi is lower than us in the rankings. We have better players than them, but that's where coaching comes into play. You got to outcoach your opponent if you have better tactics. So Senegal have more to lose in this game. They are the African champions, defending champions. They are the second-ranked team in Africa behind Morocco. So this is a game that Senegal have to win. So we have to go there and put the pressure on them. And we have the potential. Like I said, I repeat, we have the potential to beat
now
them.
The only thing is let's say we beat Senegal and we move to Cameroon. I think Cameroon is on the list. And Guinea.
Cameroon are beatable. They are very beatable. They are not where they used to be. I think our toughest match in this group might be Guinea.
Why?
The Guineans cannot understand. If you go to Guinea now and you ask the fans, they will tell you there is one match we want to win, and that's Gambia. Because we played against them in the last AFCON. We don't only win them, we played. That was the best game I've seen this team play. It was a total dominance from the Gambian team. So
and they were going around and say Gambi. They were going around. They would say Gambi. Yeah.
When the draw was out, look. According to the stats, that the Gambia Guinea game in the CAF website, the amount of Guinean that bought ticket is mind-boggling. They want to revenge. They want to win us. I'm telling you, they want to win us. If we avoid playing that defensive setback, low block, sitting down and waiting for teams to come, our best players are the fourth players. It's Senegal, I know. They are motivated. They don't have to worry much about Gambia, but we can sting them. That's very doable. That's very doable. We have players playing in decent leagues and they are performing well. They are scoring goals. We have middle players who are playing. So if Tom can pick players who are really up there, I think we have a chance on Senegal. And if we can even go home with a draw, and which we will accept all day in the day, because having a point against the defending champions and your arch rivals in football, you will take it.
Thank you.
So I think winning Senegal tomorrow will give us you know why it's important to win Senegal tomorrow. All the matches we lost in the past with them, we never played them in a proper tournament like AFCON. So this win will overshadow all what we in the past, and it will give us. We will dominate this. We will dominate.
But Habib, Senegals they have a lot of marabouts who does a lot of kalwa and stuff for them when it comes to football. So how would that play out in this?
Yeah, we are from West Africa, and Gambia and Senegal, both countries are deeply. We even though it's silk, but our people believe in Jiri. You understand? It doesn't work with the Tubab, but it works with us like African, like Gambia, because it works with us. We've seen it. Well, I know that our people also are into this Njiri thing, because somebody was telling
What
me
should
that
they do?
there is one Modiba from Banjul who should be going to I said, really? He said yes.
Bulgunjur or Burfoot?
I had Banjul. I don't know how true is it. I said, okay. For me, okay, but basically for me, I'm not there. That's not my area. I don't believe in those things, to be honest. But it's happening because our people are dark. Gambia, Senegal. Senegal and Gambia are almost similar. We can go and even glorify graves. We are doing that. So some people believe in it, but definitely I'm not into that. But I think you just need to train hard and believe in yourself. As a player, you can purify yourself. Just do the right things. But if it makes your own list hard, just pray for yourself, be a clean person, and then God can guide you from any evildoers. Senegal is highly believed. They are taking marabouts to tournaments.
I
There's a
think
special budget for.
I saw one Ivory Coast and Egypt game. The whole stadium, I can tell you, the Egyptians were reading Quran the whole time in that tournament.
Senegal have a special budget
I'm telling you.
for Harba Kupa. They have it. They have it. Senegal is about Senegal.
So,
Even the marabouts are more powerful than the president. So Senegal, they will do it. But at the end, we have God. So for me, God is the supreme being, and then
right.
if the boys just pray for themselves, and then we have the potential to beat Senegal. I'm not saying we are going to beat Senegal because it's football. They are superior in terms of many things, but we have all what it takes to win or to have a draw, minimum.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So Sam and Famara can come in, and then we can start to wrap it up. I think we are 1 hour above the time. Yeah. Sam and Famara,
Yeah.
who's coming there?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, we wish the boys all the best of luck. We're all looking forward to tomorrow. I know every Gambian, wherever we are, we are all ready for tomorrow. And inshallah, we'll come out victorious because,
Salah.
the pressure is on the Senegalese more than
Yeah.
us. All right. They're feeling the pressure right now. So all we have to do is just stay calm, play football. We are not there to, to tell them that we are going to beat you or whichever is. We just go there and play football. That's what we want to do, and they just win, and then come out clean. No, hopefully no injuries at all, because that's not going to be good for us for our coming game. So all we have to do, like Habib said, we just believe in God. That we have the talent, and then we are well trained, and we are ready to face the battle. So I think that alone, and with the coach guidance, because the team is in his administration right now, so he also, his tactical know-how also contributes to how we're going to win the game. So I think so far our hopes are very high, and hopefully we'll come out victorious tomorrow. Yeah, so all the best of luck. I know the president is going to be watching too. Everybody in Gambia will be watching, in diaspora, everybody. So all Gambians, all hands are on the deck to ensure that the Scorpions go through. So all the best of luck. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Famara. Thank you. Sam.
Thanks, Famara. Thank you, Mr. Pauline. So for all of that contribution and all the information that you gave. Yeah, definitely. I do want to make a little comment about that plane.
You sound a little low. Your voice is a little low on my end.
Little low. Okay, let's try again.
Okay, yes, good.
So good. Okay,
you're good now. Yeah.
So I want to thank you both, Famara and Mr. Fall. So thank you for your contribution as well. And you brought up some very good points. I do want to make a little bit of comment on the plane that was chartered to, or with a chartered or whatever plane was used to carry our people. I think Gambians, we need to respect each other. I mean, our players are players, they're going to represent our country. We cannot bring a very cheap plane and just to carry our people only because we want to get the bodies over there. It should be more important that the Gambian government and anyone that was involved in this to think about, put themselves in these players' shoes. If you were the one traveling, do you want to be in such a very tight plane that even doesn't have good ventilation? Even though they probably didn't know that part there, but sometimes when you go cheap, that's what happened. You get what you paid for, you know, you get what you paid for. So that's what they paid for. So, or what, you know, they look at Gambia as, we look at ourselves as sometimes our players were looked at as not very valuable. If you look at people that as in that aspect, you're not going to respect them and give them what they deserve. And they deserve to be in a plane just like all the other players. A very good plane that will carry them direct flight from one end to point A to point B and back. That's what they deserve. That's what they need to do. But like I said, corruption kills us. So if you dive into this very well, I mean, we may find there may be some issues in there, but that was unacceptable. That's what I wanted to say. It's unacceptable for our people, for our players to be in such in horrible conditions. You know, for a pilot to have to turn around and land back in Gambia because of fatigue and because of lack of proper ventilation in the plane is really bad. That demoralizes our players. It's bad for us, and we shouldn't allow that. We shouldn't accept that anymore. Anyway, so moving forward, and like Habib said, I think Gambia playing against Senegal is a big rivalry. Senegal is a rival. I think every player in Gambia mentally has this in their mind that we're going to beat them. We're going to beat them. We're going to do everything that we can to beat them. They don't even need to be encouraged on that. They know that they want to beat Senegal big time.
Absolutely.
And so I totally agree with you on that. I think that's the mentality, that's the mindset that they're going with, and I hope they can beat Senegal. At the end of the day, even if they come back with a draw with Senegal, is acceptable. It's good for us. It's good for Gambia because Gambia is looked as the underdog when they play Senegal. We are the underdog. So the underdog, sometimes the Senegal being the top player there, may look at us as they may underestimate. And when you underestimate an underdog, sometimes the underdog end up coming on the top. So, and I hope that happens there. So hopefully, I pray for the players. I wish them all the best, and I want them to really come out and do their best, play their best. And the whole Gambia is behind them. We are all behind them. We're going to support them 100%. And I hope I'll find time to watch. I don't know exactly what time they're going to play, but I want to watch the game as well.
Yeah,
you know,
it's 2 p.m. Gambian time.
Oh, 2 p.m. Gambia time. Okay, that'll be a morning for us. So that'll be in the morning for us. That's good in America. So tomorrow I work from home, so hopefully I'll be able to put my TV on and watch them too as well. So yeah, definitely.
You did mention something very talking about people behind the hiring of the airplane. Me and my platform, we are like a pressure group. We put so much pressure on authorities. So we are already on our investigation and our findings.
Perfect.
Good. But we are just make sure we want to focus more on the AFCON to avoid distraction. But we are finding who exactly did that and how.
Mm-hmm.
We will talk about these issues, but we will wait until after the AFCON, and then because look, Gambia is a country where whatever you do or those they can just put it under the carpet and forget it. It was a life and death situation. People should not take this lightly. We should not take it lightly, but for now, the focus is the AFCON. The boys are there, they're looking happy, they are ready to go. So we put in all our energy towards the AFCON. And then after the AFCON, then people will ask questions. What happened? Because we have the NCC who are responsible. We have logistic officers who are behind this. And we know exactly who they are. So they can.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful platform. I really appreciate
Yeah,
the
I have
invitation. Like I said,
guys, I have one contributor here who would like to say something,
Mhm.
and the person is listening. So you can go ahead. What's your name?
My name is Ibrahim from Kruput. Famara is my brother and Habib is a good friend too. Ibrahim.
Yeah, they are listening. Okay, go ahead. Welcome, Ibrahima. Thank you. Thank you. Famara, you have a lot of nephews and nieces and
Oh yeah, Ibrahim is a footballer, and then he's a keen follower of Gambia too.
He is always on the forefront when it comes to development, especially in football, Alhamdulillah, we thank God to have him as a Presbyterian, Alhamdulillah.
Presbyterian. That's another term. Okay, good. Very good.
I just want to emphasize on something that Habib was saying, like we just have to try, not to fear, because I use the word fear because as we are speaking, I was listening to your program at the same time I am watching Egypt and Mozambique. You think about the name Egypt and the name Mozambique. In those days, these are two different countries when it comes to football. But like we are in the 21st century. Mozambique they came from one goal down. Now they are leading. It is 83rd minute now. They are leading 2-1. If Mozambique can do that,
You
why
see?
not Gambia? You understand? If Mozambique can do that, why not Gambia? In this Mozambique team, I don't know all of them, but I don't think maybe they are the more than two Champions League players. You look at this Gambian team. We have like 9 players, almost 9 to 10 players who are playing in the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League. I was watching
Mhm.
Ajax versus Ludogorets, the team of Noah Sonko. That brother can come against any striker if he wants. Noah Sonko is ready, tall, strong, reliable. Understand? Okay, the wingers we have like Yankuba Minte, yeah, understand it. And this other one,
Aliou
Bambalai,
Fadera.
because yeah, Fadera and Bambalai. Okay, even if because I've seen some reports today that like Yankuba Minte is 50-50. Even if he's not going to play, I don't fear much because we have Fadera, we have Bambalai, who can all come in and do something marvelous. Understand? I don't see no reason why we will fear missing at least 2-3 players. Okay, any team you have like status, first choice, second choice. But in this Gambian team, I think we are very lucky to have so many good players. We are very lucky. It is a very different Gambia to like 10, 15 years ago where we will really on one player in a particular position. This Gambian team is just full. You look at the striking department, you have Hassan Ceesay, you have like Ali Sow,
Ali Sow.
Ramosi. Yeah, Ali Sow.
Ramosi.
Ali Sow, yeah, Ali Sow physically he can deal with Koulibaly. Physically, Madamosi can deal with Koulibaly. You know, yeah, Musa Barrow is playing in the Saudi Pro League with the likes of Sadio Mane and Koulibaly. It is not new for that boy to score against Mendy. He scored against him when they meet in the Saudi Pro League.
Mhm.
Understand? The Gambians, I don't see any reason why they will fear. This Gambian team, like I feel sorry for them. They have gone through a lot. We don't have an approved stadium at the moment. We have to go and play some games in Morocco. They were in Marrakesh the other time when the out when the earthquake happened. Look at that trauma. A day before the game, the earthquake happened. Just look at the trauma they played with from 2 down, 2-2. from 2 down, they were able to score 2 in the second half. I felt sorry for this team. This team, they suffer. From that, they come, and this plane issue also happened. I was very scared because, when we were young, the Zambian team have this accident, and
they all died.
They all died. Yeah, they all.
Yep.
I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking very far. I was thinking about that incident too. I was young at the time, but I could remember that was a disaster. When I saw Umar Koli sweating like crazy, my heart was. It's only Allah who knows what I was feeling. Anything could happen. Like I didn't say, no. It was a life or death situation. Understand? That one alone,
It's a psychological thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It could even disturb them, especially some of the players who were born in Europe, maybe they are not used to that kind of things, you understand? So they come there, that it was no surprise, this other boy, the one who first put the issue on the Instagram.
Say the Django.
The guy's back. Say the Django, yeah, say the Django. Say the Django, I was like, he was finished. He doesn't care anymore. Even if they are not going to fall in again, he will do it. And meet with Sedi Django's friend in Milan like 4 months ago. He told me, I need help when I was working. Then I told him, okay, I'll come. I was helping him. He told me, which country do you came from? I told him, I came from the Gambia. He told me, do you know Sedi Django? I told him, yes, but not personally, because he played for my country. Obviously, I will know him, Then this man took his phone. He told me this boy is very quiet, very cool, very disciplined. He was telling me every stop about this boy. He showed me his personal number. He was explaining how he went to trials with Manchester, the money his father gained from that trip to Manchester. The man was telling me very good things about that boy. So when I saw his post on Instagram, I was like, maybe he's very angry. That's why he is doing that. Maybe some people will be like, the players should not post this on Instagram. Okay, but sometimes if you are finished, you can do anything. So I hope TFF, will understand all those things also. Because it's a very serious issue. Anything could happen there.
Yeah, definitely.
If disaster happen, it's going to be something. As Habibu said, that issue is supposed to put that aside
And then talk about that after.
In the later part, the investigators, anybody who wants to investigate can go and investigate, because that one's supposed not to be.
Not to, it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. Yeah.
No.
The thing is, I used to feel sorry for players in the Gambia. The last time I went to Gambia, I watched almost so many divisional games, second division, first division, and some Namibian games. But believe me, Gambia, we just need to pump some money. Let me just use the word some money in our football.
That's
believe it. Me, we have so many professional players in that country, but people will never know it now. Believe me, people will never know it now. Because when I was there, I used to train with one academy, English academy. One of our brother who's in America. We have a very good academy there. I used to train with them.
EJ,
from Brikama. Yeah, EJ. So
that's what I'm saying. EJ is here now. Yeah, he has an academy here. Yeah. In Seattle.
Yeah. That brother is doing very well. He's trying to make so many young players leave the country for Europe and America. He is trying very, very well. That brother is doing very, very well.
Yeah, he used to play for my team here, the Gambian Youth Organization, GYO.
Yeah. He's in my presence, he's given them some boots, he will give them fare to go every day to and fro, you know. But the raw talent that I have seen in the Gambia, believe me, I can guarantee you the Gambian football is definitely in safe hands. All they need is the
Money.
right channel to move.
Yeah, right channel system, money, and then corruption, anti-corruption.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Some games in the Gambia, I used to feel ashamed. Divisional games in bad pitches, you know, is not okay. Like
Thank you.
that. It is not okay. Okay, going back to the option, you know, we wish the boys, you know, I don't want to spend much time here.
Thank you.
Waste your time, but
yeah, thank you for your time. I mean, like, we appreciate it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, and thank you too, you know, for allowing me to contribute a bit, you know, and we wish the boys good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
much.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Gambians love
So
football.
okay, we wrap it up
Gambians
because for the sake of time. So yeah, definitely Habib, you can wrap it up, and then definitely for the sake of time.
Well, yeah, it's I think like I said, there's a lot of things that happen to the build up towards this AFCON, but as that now, you know, we have our flag hoisted in Abidjan, so our national anthem will be played. So we have to we have to have our nationalism cards in place. Now it's about Gambia and nothing else. You know, all the negative vibes, all the drama should wait for now. We just need to put our hearts together, support the Scorpions, wish the boys all the best, give them all the moral support needed. Because people also have to understand that some of these boys are checking what's happening in the internet. So we just need to be positive, support all of them. The coach, because some people, when they don't like your tactics or whatsoever, they pray for you to fail to be vindicated, and that's madness.
But
hoping for the coach
Habib,
to fail.
one more thing here about the tactics. Is this coach defensive or is offensive, or is it in the middle?
He's defensive. He's defensive. Look,
Okay,
every single fan knows that.
Is that something that people are criticizing? Because I heard from
yes, people are saying you can be defensive when you play with the top teams, but when you play with teams that are of the same standard or even lower than you, we expect the Gambia to go out and play something like expansive football.
Okay.
People are not saying that you have to attack all teams. No, like some big teams, you have to be very, very tactical.
Exactly.
And you have to wait for them. But the fact that we are playing almost all our matches with defensive approach, Gambians don't like that. But
that's correct though. I think as a coach myself,
that's the argument. But people have to understand that people are entitled to criticize the coach. It's normal in football. It has nothing to do with hate. It has to do with even the best coaches in the world are getting criticized, from Pep Guardiola, from Arsene Wenger. Football goes with that. It's normal. But what is not normal is to wish the coach to fail because you want to be vindicated. That's out of line, because if he fails, the Gambia fails. The Gambia fails. And we don't want to fail. Especially going to a game against Senegal, we have to put our hearts and prayers together. And regardless of the scoreline, at least the minimum will be okay to have a point from this game. Having 3 points against Senegal, it will give us a very, very good history, because it will be the first international match we played against Senegal in an international competition, and we come out victorious, and it's very possible. So once again, thank you very much for the invitation. I really appreciate it. And then both Famara and yourself and Mr. Ceesay all understand what football is all about. And I think the followers will be happy today.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I think we can wrap it up now. If you Famara and
wrap it up.
Don't have anything to say. But
thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. God bless
Thank you
you.
for coming. Yeah.
Thank you, Habib.
Good luck. Good
Thank
luck
you
for
coming.
Scorpion.
Good luck to Gambia.
Yeah, we got this. We got
Famara
this.
said this. Famara said it, and then definitely we're gonna be here celebrating next week, inshallah.
Sure.
Yeah. Inshallah. Inshallah.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.